numbers that you're just talking about, just as far as the fact that the NFL is now talking about putting a Thanksgiving Eve game together. They're probably going to farm that out to Netflix or Amazon or who knows where. The rights fees are going to go, like you just described, nuts. So that actually goes hand in hand with why we have this $300 million salary cap, does it not?
Yeah, for sure. It's not a coincidence that the timing of the jump, because they're getting ahead of the ball game. They know what's coming. The NFL is so smart in how they do things. And sitting back watching the UFC getting the 7-year, $7.7 billion deal from Paramount,
Yeah.
looking at the new NBA rights deal that they got. I mean, the NFL is going to set the market here. You got to expect that it's going to be anywhere between 3 to 5 times as much as they're paying now. These networks, so it's going to get pretty wild.
Talking with Sean Merriman, great San Diego Charger, I should say, at the time, and many more successes in the National Football League and beyond. And so when we look at, as an example, what the Las Vegas Raiders did on day one, Sean, Quay Walker signed 3 years, $40.5 million. Nakobe Dean, 3 years, $36 million. Kwity Paye, 3 years, $48 million. Jalen Nair, 3 years, $36 million. Eric Stokes, 3 for 30. Tyler Linderbaum for $81 million. And then they had to welcome Max Crosby back in his contract. That was an unbelievable day for the Raiders.
Yeah, but an organization like that, especially when you're sitting back, you're watching the Chargers get better, and they hired a new coach. You're watching the Broncos get better, bringing in Sean Payton and them doing well and getting better. You see the Kansas City Chiefs now are going to get back in by bringing Eric Bieniemy. So they're sitting back watching what's going on in the division, and they know they got to make quick moves in order to compete. This is not even just go out and try to put yourself in contention for a championship. This is just to compete in the AFC West. So all these moves, like I said, were lined up a long time ago, so it didn't take much for them to make the big splashes.
Who do you think won when it's all said and done? Now, the Vegas Raiders spent a ton. They're trying to get Fernando Mendoza with as many weapons as he possibly can have when he's drafted number 1 overall. But who else popped for you as far as teams that won in free agency?
Probably them. I think that the Bills made a smart decision bringing in DJ Moore, giving him another target. Man, it's so much going on, and so much still needs to happen. I mean, we're waiting on I want to see what the Houston Texans do with C.J. Stroud, right?
Yeah.
And some of the other big moves, man. But unlike in the past, I think because of the access of information that's out there, these teams are now getting ready for free agency. They know exactly who they want. If anybody think that Trey Henderson wasn't already lined up, regardless of what happened with Max Crosby, they you get what I'm saying? All these things were already in the works, and teams are moving a lot faster than they ever have before in the past.
All right, so let's just spend 1 minute on that before we turn you loose. We're talking with Sean Merriman, a former edge rusher for the San Diego Chargers and then the Bills as he ended his career. The whole deal goes down. This is on Saturday leading into that legal tampering period. All the NFL fans that are listening right now know exactly what we're talking about. Vegas sends Max Crosby to the Baltimore Ravens. In turn, the Ravens turn around and give them a huge chunk of draft capital, couple first-round picks, and all sorts of craziness is going on. $30+ million contract coming with Max to Baltimore. And then he had the meniscus that popped up on the physical. And all of a sudden, things started to turn where the Ravens said, Sean, maybe we don't need to take a risk on this cat and we can get Trey Hendrickson. So you're of the belief, of the mindset that they kind of had that hand to play in their back pocket if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, look, whenever you give up 2 first-round picks for anybody, you got the full scope on them, right? You know he just had a knee surgery, so he obviously has some knee problems. He also got surgery from one of the best and most known renowned surgeons in there, in Elatrive. And so they did a good job with doing that. So my thing is, if you're going to give up 2 first-round picks, you already know that somebody's coming in with some kind of damage where he may or may not be ready for the season. So you already know that. But to give up 2 first-round picks, you've already committed. So I don't necessarily understand how do you backtrack on a guy this is not hidden. We all knew he just had surgery. We knew the Raiders didn't play him the last game or two because of his knee. So what was so shocking about him walking in the door? So I was a little bit confused with that. But they've already been having, Trey Henderson on their mind, right? They've already gone down the road and making that deal happen.
Yeah, that's true. There's no. It's now the Baltimore Ravens are getting that bad name in terms of, hey, you're not gonna deal fairly with us, and you can renege on a deal. And this is, I guess, the negotiations that take place, and it can get real ugly. But Baltimore took a black eye over this one. At least I think, Sean.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that a lot of teams in the National Football League will change the way to negotiate with them. There'll be some kind of clause where they can't back out so easily if they plan on doing something like that. Because, again, we're not talking about a guy that's just getting a 4th or 5th round pick or 6th round pick for him. You're giving up 2 firsts, right? So this is a massive step towards bringing somebody in. And now to kind of reverse pivot on making that decision is tough. So it's 100% going to change the way how teams negotiate and work with them going on in the future.
All right, let's hit a couple of high notes before we say goodbye. The Atlanta Falcons and Tua Tagovailoa. He is the guy that Miami basically gave up on. They had to eat a bunch of money in dead cap space, $99 million, and then they're paying him to go up there and wear a Falcons uniform. Kyler Murray, similar situation as he goes up to Minnesota. Which of those two cats do you think can take the starting job away from the guys that are currently hanging on to him?
I think Kyler Murray wins that job. And I also think it was smart by the Vikings to do that because J.J. McCarthy hasn't been healthy and hasn't really proved himself just yet. You don't know what's going to happen, but you do know Kyler's going to come in there. And bare minimum, Kyler's been on the field for the most part of his career. But also, too, it's an instant upgrade. And then make J.J. McCarthy work, for his job. Make sure he comes in and competes every day and he has to get better. I'm a little, shocked at Tua, not because of the Atlanta move. I'm just shocked that they gave him a contract in the first place down in Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, and I know his family. His younger brother played quarterback at the University of Maryland. He comes from a great family, man. Great dude. But if you're a GM, you don't give anybody that type of guaranteed money, knowing that they just came off of the type of injuries he came off of. So it's almost like an egg in the face when that happens, because why make that decision when you don't have to? They know automatically he wasn't ready for a massive contract like that because of what's happened in the past.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, it's going to be an interesting experiment to see if Tua can reclaim a little of his glory. Kyler, the same thing like you're describing up in Minnesota. Sean, we appreciate it. As always, continued success with everything you got going on.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, Sean Merriman, former San Diego Charger, not L.A. Charger. He's the one that Maurice Jones-Drew famously got that big shot off and put him on the ground with the Jaguars against the Chargers way, way back in 2006. All right, let's say hello to another guy, and we could say going back in the Wayback Machine because he won the Players' Championship, homegrown Mark McCumber winning the Players. It was special then, and he's part of the coverage that you hear on SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. So let's say hello to a guy who knows what it feels like to win and talk about that win with Cameron Young. JJ, real quick, explain what we have, like just kind of a little bit of the details when folks go to 1010XL.com, download their bracket, fill it out, and then bring it here to Mr. Chubbys.
Exactly. So we have a 1010XL bracket contest. So you go to our website, simple as that. You download and you fill out the bracket. If you take it to Mr. Chubbys, show it to your bartender, they will give you a free Budweiser pint. You must be present at the time to win the free beer. Plus, the bracket challenge overall winner gets 2 tickets to Welcome to Rockville this year.
Oh, yeah.
Second place gets a $100 gift card to Fanatics. And third place gets a $100 gift card to Mr. Chubby's Wings. So, I don't know if I'm eligible, but I know our listeners are. So drop it off at Mr. Chubby's. Get yourself a free pint.
Yeah, 1010XL.com. That's where you got to get it all started. Something like ESPN. We'll rival them with like 5 million entries.
I'm sure.
But just go to 1010XL.com and get in our NCAA tournament contest and see if you can win. Cash in either here or, like JJ just said, welcome to Rockville. That's going to be a cool giveaway.
XL Primetime, driven by big #1 Duval Ford, the #1 place to buy your next vehicle. There's a certain romance to radio play-by-play.
We need you to be all strong and hot.
Experience the most play-by-play sports on 1010XL.
Firehouse Subs is adding a new heavy hitter to the roster, the Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Grilled chicken, melted cheddar, crispy bacon stacked high with fresh toppings, and creamy buttermilk ranch. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher, only at Firehouse Subs.
I'm Frank Frangie. Life-changing is an understatement for the 180 I've seen with my daughter Amber. She's now lost over 100 pounds with Awaken 180 in just 9 months. A true 180. Not just on the scale either, in her energy, her confidence, the way she lives. And what I love about Awaken 180 is we knew it would work. It wasn't a hope. It wasn't a guess that maybe it'll work. Amber started the programming knowing this was going to be her solution. Now, you've heard stories from our hosts and clients and probably people you know personally who've reclaimed their life thanks to Awaken 180. It works for the person who needs to lose 25 pounds. It worked for Matt Hayes, who wanted to lose 40. It worked for Hacker, who's lost more than 120 pounds. And it's worked for Amber, who's well over 100. That's why I believe in it. Whatever your scale number is, call the number that will work for you. 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com. Once again, that number is 844-346-1800 or you can reach them online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Transform your backyard with CSS fireplaces and outdoor living, fire pits, pergolas, screen enclosures, and outdoor kitchens. CSS handles the entire project from start to finish. You dream it, they can build it. Visit CSSOutdoor.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's C-O-I-L-E, Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If you've been in an auto accident, you can count on the experts at San Jose Collision to return your vehicle to pre-accident conditions. San Jose Collision can also provide a fresh paint job to freshen up your vehicle or completely change its appearance. They can paint and repair all foreign and domestic cars and trucks. When quality and professionalism are important to you, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Hey, Hicken here. Springing forward feels better on freshly cleaned carpets and floors. Let Zero Res remove lingering grime and prepare your home for the brighter days ahead. Check out all of the raging customer reviews online. 4.9 Google rating. This month, $50 per room of carpet clean. Let's take 25% off hard floor cleaning, hardwood tile LVP, when you ask for the 1010XL special. Call 904-287-5727 or go online at ZeroResJacksonville.com. Spell it forward or backward. It spells the same. Zero Res.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Every joint in the body was designed for movement. Inactivity can cause stiffness, weakness, weight gain, and decrease in overall balance. So you should strive for at least 30 minutes a day of exercises that promote flexibility like yoga, strengthening with weights, and cardiovascular fitness like walking, swimming, or biking. The more you move, the better you will feel, and your overall health will benefit. Let's get healthy, Jacks, and go Jags.
Stay healthy with orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Yesterday, the Players' Championship took center stage in the game of golf and probably beyond globally when it comes to how big this event is. And we're going to talk to a former champion as we broadcast here from Mr. Chubbys over on the west side. We are on Crystal Springs Road, just off of Chafee. And if you want to drop on by, you can enjoy some delicious Mr. Chubby wings. The menu is outstanding, and they got a big NCAA March Madness contest that we will tell you about. But let's say hello to Mark McCumber right now, 1988 Players champion. Mark, welcome in. How are you?
I am great. How are you guys doing today?
we're doing good, man. I appreciate your time, and know it was special when you won here. We're going to definitely go back down memory lane, but also it has to feel good when you're calling the action like you were on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. I'm at PGA Tour Studios. You're calling it, and I tell you what, man, set the scene for us as far as the way the day unfolded in your mind.
Well, yeah, it's always fun to be able to be a part of something that's been a big part of my life growing up here and watching this entire process, this whole complex being built back in the late 70s. But it unfolded a little different than I thought it would. You know, Ludwig Oberg, what a great, unbelievable world-class player. And I really thought, even after the opening 9, that as solid as he looked, that I knew he'd face some pressure. It's amazing what it's like trying to win against a field like this on a course where there's landmines everywhere. But the shot was unexpected to me. It all changed on number 11 when he flared that metal wood out into the lake, and then drove it in the lake again on 12, and you could see all the air went out of the balloon. Then it became who's going to step up, and what a showdown it ended up being between Cameron Young and Matt Fitzpatrick. It turned out to be very exciting, and I thought it might be a little bit of a coronation of this young player, but that didn't happen.
Our 88 champion here at the Players, Mark McCumber, homegrown, and a big moment for him back then. And then when you mention Oberg, who lives here now, and like you said, two balls in the water at really two places you would not expect it to happen on the golf course. I like the way you describe it, Mark. There are landmines everywhere. And when you fast forward from that, okay, so Oberg fades, and now it becomes a little bit of a match play field between Cameron Young and Matt Fitzpatrick. To darts at 13, and then a little give and take back and forth between the two. Set up 17, as you were calling it, the scene from there.
Well, who would have known that a hole that wasn't originally designed to be an island green, it happened because they found a vein of good sand. And Alice Side Pete's wife suggested to him, let's keep digging it, turn it into an island green, and that's what happened. Who would have thought that happening back when it opened in 1980 would become probably the most easily recognized hole in all of golf. But that tournament has been swayed many times by 17. I mean, I thought that Matt Fitzpatrick, with the lead, played the right shot, a little more conservative out to the middle of the green. That was the right play, putting the pressure right back on young Cameron Young. And don't forget, he had 7 seconds before he ever won his first tournament last year at the Wyndham. So he had trouble finishing some tournaments in the past. Matt Fitzpatrick, a U.S. Open champion, a veteran player, a winner around the world, I think made the right decision. But boy, did Cam Young answer. He hit the shot of his career and hold a very, very tricky little putt inside of 10 feet. And then it all came down to this carry tee shot on 18.
So you won here in 88, and you know that's now it's described as the gauntlet. So what is it like, just from a heart rate point of view, from going from 17 and holding that shot and then stepping onto 18T where he hit it into the water before in the previous round? What is that like?
It gets your attention. I mean, you know that everything can disappear with one bad swing. And the other thing about 18, they do give you a place to bail out where you're still on land. But hitting it to the right, as we'll talk about, all kind of things enter in. Well, you know, he got up and hit the longest drive ever recorded on that hole since we've had Shot Lake. I think it was 370-something yards, talking about
375.
Yeah, so who would expect you're going to have less than 100 yards, a flip wedge to that back hole location? So he had the upper hand. The birdie on 17 gave the tee first. He could have taken the pressure off of Fitzpatrick with a bad drive like he had on Saturday, or he could have put all the pressure back. The pressure was shifting back and forth. Cam Young answered the bell. I thought that Matt Fitzpatrick's drive was pretty good, but he hit it through the fairway into the pine straw, was not able to get the ball close to the hole, and everything set up for Cameron Young after that drive. I think that's the shot of his career so far.
Oh, my gosh, yes. We're talking with Mark McCumber, 1988 Players Champion, growing up here in Jacksonville. The shot of his career really was, Mark. And like you said, 7 second-place finishes before finally winning up in Greensboro. He battled Cameron Smith right to the finish line for a claret jug when we're going back to, 2022. And he's changed caddies quite a bit. He's worked on his putting a bunch. And now it is all coming together. And, easily the biggest moment. Where does it take him from here, you think?
Well, I mean, we all have known he's a really good player. I mean, just solid. It was just, will he break through and start winning? There have been good players throughout the history of the tour who just didn't have the knack to win. And I think this is going to open the floodgates. But, we've all known he's really long off the tee. He's always been powerful. We've always known he's been a good ball striker. But I found it interesting this week that he was first in scrambling, 16 to 21. 21 missed greens, which isn't bad, over 72 holes, but got it up and down all but 5. And how about this? His putting, strokes gained putting, almost 5 strokes on the field. He was 7th in putting. And his proximity to the hole, that's the approach shots, he was first. He averaged a distance of 28 feet from the hole. So when you put his power and good putting and good short game together, you see the results. He wins against the strongest field of the year on a golf course that demands your attention. Any little slip here and you're in trouble.
Yeah, it really is. So go back to 1988, which at the time, Mark McCumber set the scoring record here, 15 under, and we were right there. I was happy that we had a change in weather to basically stiffen the test a little bit, but 15 under in 1988, your memories?
Well, my memories, it was a great week. You never know when you're going to be totally dialed in. It happened to be a week that I came into the tournament playing the best golf of my career. I had the lowest stroke average on tour coming into the tournament. I had one round in the first, 5 tournaments I played, and only one round over par. And that was the 73 down in Fort Lauderdale at the Honda when it was blowing 30. So I knew that I was playing well. And a little insight, I'd always played too much practicing the week before. My legs I'd play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It was my home. I wanted to be out there. And I made a point this time, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play 9 holes on Monday, 9 on Tuesday, and that's it. Just putt and chip on Wednesday. I was on the putting green in the afternoon on Wednesday, and Lee Trevino, who was hosting the analyst for NBC, and Bob Golby, one of the walking announcers, they walked by and said, Mark, we're going to go play 9 to see how the course is playing. Why don't you join us? And I said, guys, I really wasn't going to. Oh, come on. Well, I went out and shot an easy 32. Lee Trevino looked at me and he said, you just better make sure you don't stub your toe getting out of bed at night. Just don't eat anything that's going to make you sick, because you are really dialed in. Then it was probably one of the most dialed in ball striking and mental weeks I ever had on tour. So it wasn't easy, but I got news for you. I was nervous on 17, but with a 5-shot lead, it's a little less nervous than those two guys would have been yesterday.
Yeah, it really is incredible, because I want to say you started with a 4-shot lead, something like that. You shot 2 rounds in the 60s over the weekend, opened with 65. So you set yourself up to start the week, finish strong over the weekend, and you had big names that were trying to hunt you down and chase you down. The same is true of Oberg yesterday. So I get the sense that stuff just rolls off of him like water off of a duck's back, but this one will sting a little bit.
It will. He's young. If you play the tour for any length of time, and I think he's going to have a long career if he wants it, you get stung. I was talking to somebody the other day. They say, isn't it exciting to play the tour? I said, well, it's fun to compete. It's fun to, to work at something, and you have people applauding and enjoying what you do. I said, but there's a lot more down than there is up when you play the PGA Tour. Only one guy leaves as the winner each week. You can really play well and finish 28th. You can miss a cut. Look at Scotty Scheffler, world number 1. He spoiled us, and he had to battle hard, as did our defending champion McIlroy, just to make the cut. That's how tough things are. But I'll tell you what, when you do put it all together, it's enjoyable. But I think Ludwig Oberg is going to be just he is a stellar player. He's going to have a great career. And it will sting. He lives here. He's going to relive it. But I think you can almost bet that he's going to have that opportunity many more times to win the Players.
Well, great stuff from you. We appreciate it. I don't know how busy you are or how often you're on PGA Tour radio, but you're enjoying a little kind of relaxed life, and then occasional put the headphones on.
Well, the headphones are fun to talk about something my wife teases me. I said, well, honey, I would do that anyway. sitting with my buddies watching the golf. But I'm still busy designing and building golf courses and getting to some other things that I really enjoy. So all is good, and it's nice talking to you guys.
All right, Mark, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good day.
All right, Mark McCumber, 1988 Players Champion, in part of the call yesterday on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. So a hell of a win for Cameron Young. There is no doubt about that. I got to give you some payouts, a winner's check, along with a few others that we'll do coming up here in just a little bit. We will head into the 1 o'clock hour. We got to get to the NCAA tournament, the one seeds, how deep can Florida go, all the other ones. We'll hit on that. We are hanging out at Mr. Chubbys on the west side, Crystal Springs Road, just off of Chafee. So drop on by. You can enjoy a great lunch here every single day. Of course, the happy hour is outstanding. And then you've got the NCAA tournament bracket that we want you to fill out. So make sure you plan on going to 1010xl.com. See if you can cash in. Not only do you have a chance to win Welcome to Rockville tickets, which will be awesome, you can also get hooked up here when you bring your bracket in. Cold pints of Bud Light, cold buds, and then they got their daily specials. And you're talking 6 wings. They got the all sorts of other ones. The Cajun chicken bites are very, very good. The chef salad, if you're on the healthier side, make sure you drop on by and check out Mr. Chubbys.
XL Primetime from the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
Leon Cersei here, your lemon pepper guy. You know Wingstop always delivers, and I'm just not talking about the cook-to-order, hand, sauce, and tossed chicken sandwich in your choice of 12 mouth-watering flavors. I'm not talking about their homemade ranch so good that wouldn't blame you if you double-dipped. I'm talking about Wingstop delivers straight to your door. And did you know they open until 1 a.m.? So visit wingstop.com or use the app to get the flavors delivered right to your door, late night, only at Wingstop.
At 1010XL, we don't take sports seriously.
Slant to the corner. You're going to move it back over here to the point. Rock this over here. You got a pie like that.
After all, it's just a game.
96 guys to blitz. You got to blitz them.
1010XL.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
My Gate Rewards members, this deal is just for you. Right now, grab any 2 12-ounce Red Bulls and get 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $1. When you need a boost, Gates got you. See store for details.
Get out of the city and into the woods and the water.
Keep on working it.
On the Nimnicht Outdoors Show, Captain Kevin and Captain Kirk join Jeff Lageman.
I am shooting one today.
Get hooked Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
In your mailbox right now. Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go. Money Pages in your mailbox right now.
Nikki Sema with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With this beautiful weather, wouldn't it be incredible to create more outdoor living space to enjoy your home to its fullest?
That's right. Spring and St. Patty's Day. What a great combination to create your new lucky
and charming
space.
And as you're spring cleaning, accentuate your home with new floors for a vibrant new feel from Lifetime Flooring.
Or even upgrade your patio or garage floor with Lifetime floor coating.
Come experience the Lifetime difference. Call or visit one of our showrooms today for our St. Patty's Day specials throughout March.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, the job works in your favor. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more on materials they rely on every day. Get up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more, and up to 25% off Pergo Evercraft laminate flooring. Put Pro Savings Days to work for you. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Hey there, ET here with 1010XL. XL. And here's a little how to be cool secret. No need to wait for an anniversary or a birthday. I just simply dial up Kuhn Flowers and send someone something special for absolutely no reason. It's really fun, and I can do it online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Hey, gang, Prosser here for my friends Chad and Sandy. What are your concerns? What struggles do you anticipate when it comes time to sell your home? What is it that bothers you? What's keeping you from getting max money as quickly as possible? Well, I don't know what those reasons are because I know they're all silly. Because Chad and Sandy have one down-to-the-line guarantee. Your home sold guaranteed, or they will buy it. It'll be at a price and a rate that you agree upon beforehand. So if you need to sell now, fast, easy, stress-free, and you need max price, then you need Chad and Sandy. The government's making moves intended to push mortgage rates lower. The last time rates dropped, we saw a selling and buying frenzy. Now's the time to prepare. It's time to call Chad and Sandy. Darcy in San Jose did. I wanted to move to a more walkable, vibrant area. Within 3 days of working with Chad and Sandy's team, I found the perfect home. They do it stress-free with a guarantee. Go to chadandsandy.com or call 414-6200. That's chadandsandy.com.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. With less than a month left in the regular season, the Magic and the Hawks, the two of the league's hottest teams, continue to fight for one of the top 6 playoff spots and look to avoid the play-in tournament. Orlando has won its last 7 consecutive games, sitting 2 behind Cleveland for the 4th seed in the East. Tonight's contest is the third of 4 meetings between Orlando and Atlanta this season, with the Hawks winning the first 2 matchups. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. Right now, 76 degrees at 105. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Mondays on XL Primetime, brought to you by Mokama. Check out their great craft in the tap room in Fernandina Beach.
Definitely a fun time to be in the sports world, the way we have enjoyed what happened over the weekend with the Players' Championship Selection Sunday coming last night, and now the brackets all need to be filled out as we get ready for tip-off with tournament time coming up in earnest on Thursday. Now, you got playing games tomorrow and on Wednesday, but you know the field of 64 will tip it off on Thursday, and you got all sorts of things happening on 1010XL 92.5 FM throughout the week. We'll be all over the First Coast, and we hope that you guys will come hang with us, kind of like they're hanging today at Mr Chubbys. We are on Crystal Springs Road, just off of Chafee. We're over here on the west side, and Mr Chubbys has got a great lunch, and you got plenty of people that just love coming here, hanging out. You got big screens everywhere, cold pints, delicious wings, you name it, they've got it. So make sure you plan on dropping by and posting up here whenever it does go down as far as the NCAA tournament is concerned. So let's at least start with Florida a little bit as we look at these brackets. And look, Florida maintains its number 1 seed, even though they got bounced Saturday by Vanderbilt because of what they had done the entire regular season, the number of quad 1 wins, the number of teams that they faced. I think there's a dozen tournament teams that they played, maybe even 14. I'll pull it up here, that they faced during the regular season. And obviously teams that they lost to also were in the argument for those top seeds, like the Arizonas, the UConns of the world, and so on. And so Florida just kind of laid an egg Saturday. I don't think anybody would debate that, argue that, or whatever. Vanderbilt got hot. Vanderbilt was hungry. Florida just did not hit from the outside, and you guys all know, especially if you're Gator fans, that's their Achilles heel. They're good when they've got the Herbs of the world hitting from the outside, the Isaiahs. Obviously, you need Boogie to keep doing what he does, but they're expecting the other guys, Lee, Clavshar, and obviously the other guys to be able to step in and make those timely shots. And Isaiah Brown had been doing that, and they didn't get those to fall. And then all of a sudden it just kind of got a little clunky. And I'm sure Todd Golden was flipping and tripping a little bit in the timeout saying, get your head out of your rear end. Let's go. But Florida might have needed to hit a little bit of a reset button. You always have this argument, hey, is it good to lose? No, it ain't good to lose. But you can get something positive out of it, a little bit of a wake-up call for them, and we'll find out whether or not that's going to be the thing that gets them going. But, JJ, like I just said, the NCAA selection committee, they had no problem putting Vanderbilt right below Florida in that bracket and say, hey, you're going to have to beat them this time around to keep moving to the round of 16.
So that's who you guys play on Sunday.
Yeah, well, I think it's a Thursday night. Yeah, you're going ahead Friday night tip. It's one of the last games that will tip off. And
yeah, so that means Sunday.
Yeah,
so who does Vanderbilt play?
I'm looking here real quick. Florida's got the winner between two teams. They play Clemson.
Clemson's good.
Yeah,
Clemson finished like third or fourth in the ACC this year.
Yeah, so you can't necessarily make any assumptions, especially with the way just college basketball works. There's no guarantee whatsoever that any of these teams are going to get red hot. Last year, we basically saw chalk take over. We said that's the end of Cinderella. In large part, it might have been because guys that are good get signed away from the one-bid leagues or the teams that are not considered among the Power Four, and that they lose their stars. And we've seen plenty of examples of it. But anyway, if that happens, then Florida has a chance, obviously, just like all the other bigs, to keep it rolling and see if chalk will win out and that we will get the same. I don't think we're going to get 4 number ones like we had this past season. But the vulnerable ones, as far as the toughest trip coming through, Arizona looks like they may be in decent shape. The other ones maybe not. Arizona, when you take a look at it, they got number 2 Purdue, which is the number 1 offense in the country. They got number 3 Gonzaga. We know how good they are. They're always good, particularly on the defensive side. Arkansas is a 4 seed, which, remember, they were considered Cinderella a year ago. Acuff is outstanding. I mean, that is one of the better guards, if not, first team All-America type of guy. And they're going to ride him and see how far that they can go. But most people are saying right now Arizona might have the easiest of the 4 paths to make it to to cut down the nets in their region.
By the way, Vanderbilt does not play Clemson. Clemson plays Iowa. So Florida plays that winner next, but they would play Vandy if they get into the Sweet 16.
There you go. I'm toggling back and forth between brackets right now, so that's what it was. So, yeah.
And Florida does not know who they'll play. It's one of these playing games with the 16 seed. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, they'll get past that.
Yeah.
That's the assumption that you're making. And it's I don't even want to name them because I'm sitting here looking at the bracket trying to figure out exactly which one of these will play in. And they might be on that collision course with them.
They're going to play either Prairie View A&M or Lehigh.
Yeah, Lehigh, yeah. And so that,
I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah. And then after that, they have to make sure they get through the next round before they see
and that would be either Clemson or Iowa.
Yeah, there you go. I knew I had it mixed up a little bit. So Hawkeyes and Tigers, the winner of that one is who Florida would face once they get going, if they get through that first round unscathed, which you might expect. But a reset button, I don't know whether it's like there's so many examples of how it does work when all of a sudden you're like, okay, this is serious. We need to get focused, and we might have kind of taken some things for granted, thought we had it all. And then the other times you're like, wait a minute, you lose, all of a sudden a little doubt starts to creep in. You're not hitting your shots, which bottom line, the guards have to hit their shots for Florida. Every Gator fan out there knows that, for them to be able to keep rolling. And so we'll see if they can right that ill that they had on Saturday against the Commodores. Commodores was hit the Vanderbilt from outside hitting everything. And so they played with a lot of energy, and they dang sure were good. Really, 94 feet, playing good defense and then getting down and hitting big shots, that's for sure. 99, he was definitely lighting them up. All right, let's say hello to Denny Thompson coming up here in just a second. Quarterback Whisperer will be in studio as we are hanging out over on the west side. Mr. Chubbys on Crystal Springs Road, just off of Chafee. Make it one of your stops when you're getting ready for all that tournament madness.
XL Primetime is driven by Duval Ford. Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Cook puts it down. Wright kicks it up. The 53-yarder is good, good, good. What a magnificent ending in London.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
And that concludes the Josie Jack of All Trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clear water irrigation
and drainage too.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
If you can't wait for kickoff, tip-off, or the first pitch, get your Gator fix anytime with a Gator podcast channel. Exclusive Florida Gator content from 1010XL. Set up by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists on the video and social channels of 1010XL.
Come visit the best sports restaurant in town. That's Big Dogs in Orange Park, known for great burgers, huge wings, pizza, salads, and special nightly events like trivia and karaoke. You'll all love it at Big Dogs Restaurant in Orange Park.
All right, Jack, so let's talk about it. Spring cleaning feels great until your drains remind you what they've been holding on to all winter. If your sink's burping, your shower's backing up, or your toilet's hesitating like it's reading a blitz, it's time to call in the pros. Call Duck Duck Rooter. During their spring drain cleaning promotion, get your drains cleaned plus a free camera inspection for just $129. Must have outside clean out, honest pricing, proven experience, no fourth quarter surprises. When you're stuck, call the Duck. That's 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Did you know that an annual coating inspection can extend the life of your building by years? Catching early signs like hairline cracks, fading, and moisture intrusion helps prevent costly repairs down the road and keeps your property looking its best. Our team at Performance Painting helps you stay ahead of maintenance with professional inspections and long-lasting coating solutions. Protect your building, protect your budget. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a free inspection. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Next time you head into a Gate convenience store, look for Form Energy Drink, designed to provide energy, hydration, and focus, straight from Dana White and AB, celebrating those who embrace grit, discipline, and resilience in their everyday lives. Check out Form Energy at a Gate convenience store.
The price of gold is soaring, and the price of silver is near record highs. If you've got gold or silver just lying around, Estates Roadshow wants it. Broken chains, old rings, coins, watches, diamonds, vintage jewelry. If it's valuable, they're buying it. No appointment needed, just walk in, get a free appraisal, and walk out with cash. They're also buying pre-1964 silver coins, flatware, sterling silverware stamped 925. They're buying coin collections, gold, silver, foreign, and domestic. Plus, they've been in business over 35 years with thousands of prior happy customers. Licensed, bonded, state-certified scales, highest tech equipment, employees with GIA certifications. The Estates Roadshow is happening 10 to 5 through Friday, close by in St. Augustine at World Golf Renaissance and Palm Coast at the Holiday Inn Express. Call Marshall at 609-781-6559 or go to estatesroadshow.com and follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook to see all upcoming events.
Hi, this is Dr. George Bari, an orthopedic surgeon who is fellowship trained in sports medicine. If you are a young athlete or a weekend warrior, I treat you with the care and expertise that is needed to diagnose and treat your injury. Come see me at Bari Orthopedics to get the care that you need.
Be sure and check out the expertise from Dr. George Bari and the entire staff at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com. And follow Doc on Instagram at Dr.GeorgeBari.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson, driven by George Moore Chevrolet.
We got our dude, Denny Thompson, hanging out in studio over there at the beautiful Palatial Studios off Bowden Road as we hang out over here on the west side, just off of Chafee. Mr. Chubbys, as we are enjoying some delicious Mr. Chubby wings. And anyone who comes in obviously needs to get fired up for the NCAA tournament by filling out your bracket at 1010XL.com. You bring it in here, you got a chance to win some cold Bud Lights. Denny Thompson, welcome in. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm good. One of the things that I miss about doing radio full time is the Thursday night Mr. Chubbys remote that we had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that at that point, the Chubby's remotes were like PG approaching R-rated when you guys were on.
We're not going to get we won't relive all of that. Yeah. Yeah. We've moved on from that, Joe.
Yeah, well, actually, it was kind of like a lab test to see kind of the two things could come together. Mr. Chubbys has been a partner with 1010XL ever since. All right, the Quarterback Whisperer, all things quarterback play. You guys can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. By the way, one of our texters did remind us we were talking about who Florida faces in the opening round, and they're waiting to see the winner as far as Prairie View and Lehigh is concerned. And one of them said Lehigh beat Duke in the tourney. It was glorious. That was all the way back in 2012. And that's the beautiful thing about it, Denny, before we talk quarterbacks. NCAA tournament used to cook up some magic, some Cinderella stories. We'll see if we get them this time.
Dude, last night was elite. You had the selection show and then the World Baseball Classic.
Baseball was awesome.
Oh, my gosh. Baseball was so awesome. I want to try to go down there Tuesday for that game, but I don't think I'm going to make it.
No, you don't think so?
Nah, that would be amazing, though.
You don't want to see us lose to Italy anyways.
Dude goes to Italy for one time, and now...
Well, they're not Italian. All of them are like me. Their grandparents are Italian. That's it. They don't speak. They're just Americans. I love it.
Yeah, you could basically sum it up this way. JJ's been to Italy more recently than those guys have been to Italy. But real quick, just to stay on the World Baseball Classic, since both of you guys are chiming in on it, and it was great theater. It had everything. The Aaron Judge throw out at third base was just unreal.
Which way are you running there with 2 outs anyways? But go ahead.
Yeah. But the strikeouts the strikeout at the end, the called strike, and everyone's just going bananas over it. And I've seen it before. It's not the first time. It looks like you got the ball below the strike zone and the ump rings him up. But it was. Are we going to come out of this talking about that and that alone, fellas?
Nah, that'll be old news by the time this game starts. Yeah, by the time this game starts. Yeah. I mean, it's baseball.
And that, by the way, will be changing in Major League Baseball this year. This is the first year where they're having this, I don't know what they call it, but it's basically you can challenge balls and strikes. So obviously in that situation, they would have challenged. I think that it was obviously a ball, but those little strike zones on TV kind of aren't real.
It wasn't egregious.
It looked like the ball sort of was going through the zone before it dropped out of the zone. So I'll give their ump a little bit of benefit of the doubt. But go USA. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I refuse to let an excellent 2.5 hour, 3 hour game come down to one pitch that's not egregious. Yeah, it's just good baseball.
Yeah, it was awesome though, and the World Baseball Classic has been a hit. I feel like most people love the hell out of it. All right, so let's get to some quarterback play, and I just want to do 2 questions in the NFL game before we get to a couple guys in the college game. I posed the question to Sean Merriman earlier, and Big Sirs and Maddie, who Big Sirs will be back tomorrow. Maddie is with USA Today doing a couple stories in Texas, but Denny, when you think about a number 1 overall pick, a top 6 pick in Tua Tagovailoa and Kyler Murray, both of them basically they're getting cord cutted. The team that drafted him is just cutting the cord, saying goodbye to him. Kyler Murray does have a legit chance to go up to Minnesota and have a little bit of a rebirth because J.J. McCarthy's not quite sure who he is right now, or Kevin O'Connell isn't quite sure who he is right now. And then you take the Tua to Atlanta. What do you think about the dynamics of those two former high draft picks being cut loose by their team and now having another chance?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting too because there's so many parallels between them because they both got paid from the team that drafted them. It's not like they're coming off their rookie contract and they were thought to be a failure right away. I think Kyler is one of the more interesting ones. He finds himself in a great situation in Minnesota. I feel like O'Connell's a great quarterback coach. Everybody wants to play for KOC. good system, a lot of success. And he's pretty dang good too, by the way. Like, I mean, I know that he hasn't maybe lived up to the expectations of number one pick, or he certainly hasn't. And there's been some questions about, I guess work ethic or whatever that may be. But when you turn on a football game and Kyler Murray's playing, like, you tend to keep that football game on. I mean, he's an exciting quarterback. I was talking with somebody else a couple weeks ago about this, of just like, okay, do you let that guy walk? And if he does walk, is there an immediate place for him to go? And I think we saw the answer to that. I think Tua's a little different. I think there's more question marks about, just more question marks about Tua, about his health, about his ability, about everything. The only question mark about Kyler is he going to buy into this thing, and is he going to be the Kyler that we saw for, a couple of years? He's still healthy. He's still explosive. He can still make all the throws.
I fight it. I really do, because the argument you're making is pretty good. But then I was always a count against Kyler Murray in terms of being an overall long-term success in the National Football League, just because I thought he would constantly have to deal with the idea that he wasn't the biggest. He's the fastest. He can sling it, but he just physically has had a tough time holding up. The evidence is obviously there with that. And then in the case of Tua, the concussions, and then at times maybe not what they want him in terms of arm strength. Both of these guys, like, they've got more question marks, I think, than you would have imagined at this time of their career.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either one of them are. I'm not saying that either one of these guys are going to be, long-term solutions for either one of these teams.
Right.
But I look at Kyler as a really good short-term solution for a team that is a playoff caliber team. I mean, they've got the pieces around, and there's some consistency up there with coaching staff and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think Kyler Murray is your Minnesota quarterback for, the next 8 years, but I do think that it gets them through with a talented roster. I don't know what happens with Tua. I can't. I've never been able to figure Tua out, not through college, not through the NFL game. 1 week he looks unbelievable. The next week it's like, okay, what are we doing here? So I kind of put those two in different places, and I think the Kyler signing makes a whole lot of sense. The Atlanta signing to Tua, it makes me scratch my head a little bit.
By the way, real quick, today Justin Fields got traded to the Chiefs.
Yep.
Yeah. And so that basically is an indication, Denny, that they want to make sure, obviously, Mahomes is fully structurally sound with the knee, and Justin Fields can at the very least step in. You may see him for the first month of the season. You never know.
Well, when you give Andy Reid somebody with Justin Fields' ability and athleticism, you don't want to take Mahomes off the field, but Andy Reid's going to dial up a package or two.
You might.
That at least as a defense you're going to have to prepare for. And the other thing too is I think, what was it, 2 years ago, there were more. And if I'm wrong on this, I'm sorry, but I think the backup quarterbacks in the NFL took more snaps than the starting quarterbacks maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Last year was crazy.
Yeah. Was it last year?
Maybe.
Yeah. So I think that there's a couple things happening with the quarterback position. Is there's depth at the position because people are coming in physically more ready. The game is put on the quarterback's plate all the way from high school now and college. So guys are coming in ready to play. So it's creating a little bit more depth. There's a lot of young talent in the league at quarterback. And so you have to look at that. Like, am I only as good as my backup quarterback is in some cases? You look at what Mac Jones did in San Francisco this year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I do think that position, that backup quarterback position, has never been more important in the NFL. And so you're going to see a lot of talent stacked there, especially a lot of talent on one-year deals hoping to prove themselves.
Quarterback whisperer Denny Thompson hanging with us, and I'm looking at a list that I set aside from last year. This was week 1 starter versus week 18. Justin Fields for the Jets, Brady Cook finished the year. Tua for the Dolphins, Quinn Ewers finished the year. Kyler for the Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett finished the year. You can go to Joe Flacco to Shedeur Sanders. You can go unbelievable down the line, Penix to Kirk Cousins, and who knows, Daniel Jones to Riley Leonard. Matter of fact, AR factored into that as well. So, dude, you're right. Backup quarterbacks are a premium right now.
Well, and also, I don't think that there's ever been a time in the NFL where you look at the backup quarterbacks, you're like, oh, well, that guy can play, right? Like, I mean,
right.
Most of us know who all the backup quarterbacks are because at some point they've had success in this league, or they were, very well known coming out of college. We talked about this we've been talking about for a couple years. The depth, and it's not going to stop. The depth at quarterback is going to continue to be the most competitive position in all of sports because people are putting time, effort, resources, everything into it at an early age, largely because in the past, like if you were going to come to somebody like me, your payoff was a 1 in a million shot to make it to the NFL. Now, your payoff is just getting a scholarship, right? And because there's NIL attached to it. And then if you can get on the field in college, there's additional funds attached to it. So I think that the position is evolving. I think the position is better than it's ever been. And I think there's more depth and more talent at that position at every single level. I mean, to take it, and there's people driving around that are going to shake their heads, yes, when I say this. Most people won't understand this. Even at the high school level now, like most high schools are very established at their quarterback position, and it is a fight to get on the field even at the high school level as a quarterback these days. I played quarterback in high school, which lets you know that it wasn't that much of a fight to get on the field back then. So, I mean, I would have had to change positions these days.
Yeah, I got to play all 48 minutes when I was, it would not be the same thing in today's world, that's for sure. All right, so speaking of just the high stakes that you're talking about in the college game, before we turn Denny loose, I'm listening to, I don't even know what pod I was listening to over the weekend, but C.J. Carr is a betting favorite for the Heisman Trophy. Notre Dame is one of the betting favorites for a national championship game appearance. Schedule lends itself to both of those betting choices to not be a bad play. Okay, you got C.J. Carr. Who else would you put up there right now? Julian saying from the Buckeyes will get plenty. Trinidad will get plenty if he gets to remain eligible. Arch, of course. Who else you putting up there, Denny, when you think about just the red-hot right-handers or left-handers that are coming back?
Oh, man, you kind of put me on the spot here with that.
That's a bunch of good ones.
Obviously, Darian Mensa #1 overall.
Yeah.
Well, okay, while I'm thinking about this, let me go back to C.J. Carr, if that's okay for a second, because he was here last week. He was in Jacksonville last week.
Okay.
And he is a franchise guy. I mean, he is the whole package, man. Great thrower, great athlete.
Now he's got a whole year under his belt.
He's got, and that year was pretty dang impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, his first start in Miami was actually pretty dang good as well, considering. So, I mean, I think, when you look at, that's a great example of a guy who right when he got his choice or his chance was ready to go in, and I think will continue to only get better. And he's got the makeup for this thing. There's everything. And then you just don't know. You don't know, take Florida, for example. You got a guy that transferred in that largely is thought very highly of. And then you've got Tramel Jones, who, I don't know, is one of the best throwers I've ever seen. So, who gets on the field? What are the weapons around them? In the college game, I think that's as important as anything else is what's around them, what's the system they're running. And then, if you're talking specifically about the Heisman, you got to have the perfect mix of schedule of games that you can get stats, but then also games that you can get recognition and eyeballs on you. And that's the great thing about the Heisman. When was the last time the Heisman favorite preseason won the Heisman?
Never.
I mean, it's been a while.
It's been a long time. Usually, not only do they not win, they fall off big time.
Well, remember, last year it was the Klubniks, the Nussmeyers, the Becks. Yeah, you can go. Yeah, you can go to all TJ, all of them. That's for sure. All right, so real quick, like Darian Mensa, what he did last year at Duke. He comes into an offense that's going to lend itself, especially inside the ACC, to score a bunch of points and may get good odds if you're looking at, hey, that's worth a shot when it comes to a Heisman future or maybe a national championship game future.
Oh, without question. I mean, what Miami's got going on down there. I mean, just look, having Malachi Tony's a little bit of a cheat code. Mm-hmm. Now if they've got outside help.
By the way, having Malachi Tony might hurt his Heisman odds.
Yeah,
because they might end up splitting.
Mally may win it. Yeah. But I mean, you get outside help with Mally, a guy that can really stretch the field, which I think they've got. And then if you can get that tight end play to go along with Mally, they've got Fletcher there as well. Yeah, I mean, Mensa is really set up well, and they're going to always have a good offensive line in Miami, and like you said, they're going to have the marquee games that you need in order to win that thing. but they're also going to have the games where you can pad some stats as well. The only thing is they're so good at running the ball, and that's the thing, now that I'm a year into really watching Miami and studying them. Listen, don't make no mistake. They want to run the football down in Coral Gables, and they've got the packages to do it. They've got the running backs to do it. They're deep at the running back position. Their offensive line is built to run the football. But again, when you've got a quarterback and you've got two receivers as talented as they have, you've got a chance to go a long way, man. I like Miami's chances next year in college football a lot.
Yeah. And when you see what Fletcher did at the end, you know that they have a play call sheet that they can go do whatever they want. That's for sure, as far as getting down the field or just handing it off. All right, Denny, good job as always. We appreciate it. We will see you next week. You got guys, like you said, CJ Carr in town, plenty of others that have been in and out doing whatever work that they need.
Yeah, we got pro days coming up, man. Exciting times. We got Carson's pro day a week from today. Jeff Sims in Arizona State, I think next Thursday. Joey Aguilar up at Tennessee after that. So it's exciting times right now.
Oh, love it, man. All right, thank you, Denny.
All right, bud.
All right, that is the quarterback whisperer. And when you talk about, Aguilar, who did not get that extra year, he's the guy who definitely needs to have a good pro day, and we'll see where he goes. All right, speaking of pros, JJ, let's go ahead and give away some Sporting Jacks tickets as we are hanging out here at Mr. Chubbys, just off of Chafee Road. Crystal Springs, come on by, but you got a hookup for him right now.
I do. We have a new pro team in town, folks. We have a Sporting Jacks men's soccer team. They just started playing a couple weeks ago. We have a family 4-pack to Sporting Jacks versus Miami Football Club at Hodges Stadium at UNF. See schedule and buy tickets at sportingjacks.com or be caller number 4 right now at 641-1010 and I'll hook you up.
XL Primetime, driven by Big Number 1 Duval Ford, elite service for elite companies, where legends draft and drip to the checkered flag.
Right into it! They crossed the line, and guess who wins the race?
This Sunday at Darlington.
Wow!
On Jacksonville's high-performance NASCAR station.
Oh, my goodness!
1010 XL.
Got a dent or a scratch that needs fixing? San Jose Collision in Mandarin offers expert auto body repair and works with all insurance. Family owned and locally trusted. San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
You know, Mr. Chubbys Wings is giving away free beer again this year for the Madness Tournament.
Do they really give you a free pint of Budweiser for each game you pick right?
Yes, all you gotta do is fill out your bracket now at 1010xl.com. Overall winner gets tickets to Welcome to Rockville on Saturday. But for free beer, just download your bracket, print it out, and bring it into any Mr. Chubbys Wings location during the games. Every game you pick right, you get a free beer.
Go to 1010xl.com now. It's the free beer Chubby Madness Bracket Challenge. See Mr. Chubby's Wings Facebook for full contest details.
Homeowners, ready to open your home to spring and shut out high energy bills? It's 31 days of spring savings with Renewal by Andersen. Right now, buy 2 windows or doors and get the third 60% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. But this offer expires March 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
March is coming in like a lion at Best Bet, and Clockwork Cashout is back with a vengeance at all locations. Every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in March, from 6 p.m. till midnight, $500 will be given away every 30 minutes while playing the table games. The excitement is roaring at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. For more details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and if you think Closets by Design is just closets, you've got to see their brand new showroom at Phillips and Emerson. It's amazing what they can do. See for yourself how they custom design organization for any space. Garages, laundry rooms, bedrooms, even the man cave. It's all about smart storage that fits your lifestyle and budget. Schedule an appointment to meet with a design consultant and tour the showroom for ideas you can see and touch. Start at closetsbydesign.com.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. sportsforecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
If you're listening to 1010 and you're a parent, chances are your kids are playing sports. Check out i9sports.com with spring and summer registration open right now. In the gym or on the field, and now at Tokoi Creek High School and Westside Middle. Check it out, i9sports.com.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal.
Stand back, Jason. I'm gonna
Sneeze? Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's all this spring pollen, Jason. It's outside and it's inside my house, and I just can't stop. I can't stop.
Sneezing? Okay, let me help you with that.
How can you help?
At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can improve your indoor air quality with air purifiers, UV lights, and filtration systems. Every new system we install includes high-efficiency 4-inch filters that work better and last longer, even if you forget to change them.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Life can get pretty dusty sometimes. If you spend all day, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Golden moment yesterday for USA, for Cameron Young. There is no getting away from just how special it was. That's for sure, for a Players' Championship title. Only the second win for Cameron Young. And you say to yourself, well, no, it's big, bro. It is big. And we have seen other guys that have won there and haven't won anywhere else, a la Craig Perks. But at the same time, Cameron Young has had a world-class game and just put it all together. And the drive, the tee shot and birdie at 17 are his golden moment. The drive at 18, he will never quit thinking about. 375 yards, T-boning a fairway like that, that is just unreal what he did. And he put every bit of pressure on Matt Fitzpatrick, who drove it through the fairway. It's one of the tougher driving holes on the PGA Tour. The average score to par tells you that. And Cameron Young nutted up. It was definitely a huge, huge moment. So,
by the way,
bravo.
That guy is just like ice. Like he doesn't show any emotion whatsoever. Like after that drive, you'd think it was, the third round or the second round in a tournament, somewhere in Hawaii. It's like, no, this was the biggest shot of his life. And then the putt on 17, he just barely even smiled. It was awesome, man. That's why I wasn't expecting him to be so. I wasn't expecting like a ton of emotion after the victory, but I also wasn't expecting him to show absolutely zero emotion after winning the biggest tournament of his life. Also, one more quick thing on that at the end. You know me, I love to complain about golf broadcasts. The fact that NBC did not give him an on-the-course interview right after was really weird to me. I know that there was two golfers still on the course, but like they gave him one of those sit down in the clubhouse interviews afterwards that you would give a guy like if he was the leader going into like a Friday or something.
Well, I'm just going to play
that.
I'm just going to play devil's advocate with you just a little bit because I get exactly what you're saying. But if you do go to like whenever the green jacket's going to be placed on the winner at Augusta, they won't interview him until they go in there. Now, they're not trying to do exactly that, but they stay on for their trophy presentation to thank the volunteers and for the PGA Tour commissioner forever, Jay Monahan, would present it to him and they interview him then. Mike Tirico would come down and interview him and all that kind of stuff. And so that is one of the reasons. And then the other one is what you said, is that they were...
Oberg. Oberg was still out there.
Yeah, he was still out there. And so those are really mainly
and the
only
other
two
guy.
reasons.
Talk about a choke. Who is Thor?
It was Michael Thorbjornsen.
Yeah,
Thorbjornsen. And
he fell off like right away.
And I felt bad for him because he made a quad at the par 4 fourth where he drove it into the left rough. And really all you need to do, and I'm trying to think, he hit a fairway metal off the tee with no tee. and basically just pulled it into the right rough, into the left rough. Had to hit a bailout shot. So at that point, he is a decent number. He should hit it on the green, let it trickle down. What does he do? Pops it in the water, and then it turns into a quadruple bogey.
And your day's done.
Yeah, and so
Just
it
like
just
that.
absolutely it ate him up. And you can go back to when Tiger won. Tiger was not in the final group. Actually, he was with Alex Cheka, and just the Alex Cheka had never done anything, and except for like swim to freedom out of Czechoslovakia or something. I mean, he was one tough son of a gun, but he had never won on the PGA Tour, and he just kind of fell to the wayside in that final group, and that unfortunately was Thor Bjornsson. So here we go. Okay, you've got Yella Miraju.
Well, our boy, which, by the way, he made so much money. He already pulled out of this week's competition. He already withdrew from this week's competition. I saw that he made like only $300,000 his entire career so far. And he cashed in at like $900K yesterday.
Yeah, so I've got a few of the paydays here, okay? So even though like this dude taught himself how to play golf on YouTube. Okay, he ain't the first guy to do it, but still, it's cool as hell when you can become a guy that gets to be a star on the PGA Tour from India, teaching yourself how to play golf by watching YouTube. You might be able to become a great chef, a great plumber. I have no idea. But to be able to swing the golf club and finish T5 as a PGA Tour rookie in your first players and knock down a $925,000 check. Up until that point, as JJ just said, his career earnings were $358,940. It was nuts. And let me see if I can find these other guys here real quick, just as far as the paydays, because look, it's the strongest field. It's the richest purse. We've talked about it a bunch. But now that they've made it a $25 million purse, this is a massive payday for these dudes. And all right, so here you go. You've got, $4.5 million for Cameron Young. Matt Fitzpatrick, $2.725 million. Xander finished third, $1.725 million. Robert McIntyre finished fourth, $1.225 million. And then Yella Miraju got to split it with Oberg. That's just unbelievable.
I'm also assuming that finishing that high for Yella Miraju opens him up to a lot more tournaments that he probably wasn't eligible for.
Yeah,
and just gets a lot of points.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. He'll move up in the world rank, and that will it could put him into one of those signature events, which that also has all that extra money, no cut, that type of stuff.
Right.
So yeah, huge payday for him. Good stuff from all of them out there yesterday. All right, now when we come back, we're going to hit the highlights of the weekend, and then we got to really point you to what you can enjoy at all of the Mr. Chubbys locations, Ponte Vedra, Fleming Island, and the West Side. We'll load you up with that coming up on XLP.
XL Primetime.
Driven by Duval Ford. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Bari here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Bari Orthopedics today or visit bariorthopedics.com.
Gold and silver prices are near all-time highs. If you have old jewelry lying around, Estates Roadshow wants to buy it. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, even broken jewelry. Cash in while gold and silver are hot. The Estates Roadshow is in the First Coast area today through Friday, 10 to 5. In St. Augustine at World Golf Renaissance and in Palm Coast at the Holiday Inn Express. Visit estatesroadshow.com or follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook to see all upcoming local events and locations.
Lola's Burrito and Burger Joint in Riverside, voted best burrito in Jacksonville by Folio Weekly. They serve giant burritos, juicy burgers, cold draft beer, and the perfect margarita. Enjoy happy hour Monday through Friday 2 to 7. And to celebrate the madness, $10 pitchers of Outlaw Light or 10 wings with a domestic pint for just $15. Don't forget to ask about catering. Order today at lolasburritojoint.com.
American.com. Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trust a company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
You want a new fence, but you don't want the hassle. That's why there's Superior Fence and Rail. They're the best in town, offering lightning-fast one-day installations, plus a lifetime labor warranty for total peace of mind. And here's the best part. Book by March 17th, and they'll take down and haul away your old fence for free, up to a $500 value. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
The First Coast Games is an annual team-building challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals. These goals include some friendly competition, of course, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. The Weekend Rewind, brought to you by Cycles of Jacksonville, the big boy toy store for big boy toys.
What happened this weekend?
The Lakers are rolling.
They're going to hold it for the final shot and try and win it here in overtime. Reeves to Doncic. Spencer Jones on him. Here's the double. Doncic on the drive. Step back. Puts it up. Puts it in. With 5/10 of a second remaining.
College basketball madness.
Bradley trying to do it himself. He does! He hit it!
USA into the finals.
The ninth pitch turns on it, sends a fly ball to right center field. Gunnar Henderson has tied it up. Fly ball right center field. Rodriguez and Tatis going back. It is gone. Roman Anthony gives the U.S. the lead.
Drama at the Players.
Yes, he did. What an answer. Maybe the putt of his life right here.
Oh, yeah. So many great moments from the players. And, of course, over the weekend, the Arizona game winner, Jaden Bradley over Iowa State. Luka's shot, even though the Lakers ain't what you want the Lakers to be right now, at the very least, he still is balling. And I'm looking at Aaron, one of our producers here at 1010XL, another Laker fan trying to will this team. Look, I'm a fan of resignation right now, okay? It's just not the same team that you hoped it would be when LeBron and Luka paired up. Still won.
They're hot
trade.
right now.
Yeah, they
I
are
mean,
hot right
they're
now.
like one of the best teams in the NBA right now.
It's just so up and down, not a little too late necessarily, but they, coming out of the All-Star break, just faded in the worst way. And now, yeah, you're right. They're trying to make a little bit of a comeback, but a great win for them with Luka with that game-winning shot. And then the baseball against the Dominican Republic, it delivered on so many different levels. It was awesome. That's for sure. All right, let's say hello to Helmets and Heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Lauren Brooks joins us now as Helmets and Heels get ready to go back there at 1010 XL HQ. Lauren, how you doing?
That's right. I'm good, thanks, Joe. It is coming down here rain-wise. How about there, where you are in Mr. Chubbys?
Well, yeah, we survived it earlier. The west side always gets it before the east side or the south side, I believe. Most of these storms, they just seem to come through. And Aaron, who's producing here, he put the radar up in front of me like Matt Hayes normally would. and then I looked out, and I'm telling you, the skies were black. So it swept through here pretty good about an hour ago.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I love looking at a radar, and I'm just so thankful that yesterday the weather stayed away and they were able to finish, and the tournament looked absolutely stunning. It was another fabulous week by the players.
Yeah, it delivered on all fronts. Obviously for Oberg, he would love to have been able to get out in front and not have anybody catch him, but it was just a fantastic finish with Fitzpatrick and Young battling back and forth. And I'm happy for Cameron because that dude has missed more putts that gave him nightmares and finally hit a huge one at 17. All right, what's coming up?
Yeah, well, we'll certainly we'll talk some golf. We'll also talk some football and some basketball. Jamal St. Cyr going to join us for the next couple of days with Tom McManus on vacation, and we're supposed to have a special guest kick off the show with us right at 2 p.m. I'm not going to say who yet, just in case the weather's going to negatively affect that person's journey here, but should be a current Jaguars player.
All right, that sounds good. They can look forward to that for sure.
That's
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, so current Jaguars players, the way she's saying it, so stick around for that. And also don't forget to be a part of everything that's going on here at Mr. Chubbys. Now, Ponte Vedra, Fleming Island, the west side, they got all sorts of things cooking. And today you can enjoy the all-you-can-eat special over on PV from 8 to 10. Fleming Island, they've got 75-cent wings. The west side location tonight, trivia night right here off of Chafee Road. So make sure you drop on by and then fill out your brackets so you can get in on the contest. Will and everybody here fired up to see you bring in. You got to print your bracket, come in, watch the games. If you've got the game winner while the game is, when it goes final, they're going to pour you an ice cold Bud Light or Budweiser. Now, JJ, do not let me forget this. We have got to go over what happened at Walgreens outside of the players tomorrow, okay?
Yes.
Unbelievable scene. It was terrible, but
we got to talk about it.
We got to talk about it. And it was being picked up by everybody nationwide. It was nuts. But thankfully, Nassau County able to apprehend the individual. It was terrible. Yeah. All right, we are done. Thanks to the West Side for hosting us today, Mr. Chubbys. Thanks to Aaron for producing here. JJ, of course, holding it down back at JJville. We will talk to you mañana.